2019, I believe, or 20 during COVID, had 3,000 miles on it. I only used it. I've only probably put about 10,000 miles on it. That over the last 4 or 5 years. I started up to keep it running, but I noticed that after it set for a while, I had a hard time, starting cranking over. It was kind of doing the same thing, but I figured it was just from sitting. Bought new batteries for it, and then I went on a 10-hour ride, and I had no problem with the starting and shutting off. And I'm retired military. I'm over at the Air Force Base in Idaho, and things did not start. Nothing. And when I shut it off to wash it and car wash, so I tried everything. I looked it up. I did some YouTubing, and it came up with for a short, quick fix was to make a jumper wire from fuse 33, which is a PCM and ECM. It's not getting power from the fuse box, and finally did that. Hooked it up. I didn't fuse it. I've got to fuse it, and hooked it up directly to the battery. Basically, hot wired it. Pushed the button, started right up, and ran fine. Some things I read that the boxes have to be replaced, or there's no dealership open on Saturday when I try to call it as far as the maintenance side of the house.
Right.
A lot of stuff is 2020 F-450s and above, 17 through 19. The fuse box that I was looking at was out of a 2020. They're a little bit different, but I found, I got my book and then I found the fuse and put it on the power side. Starts up and runs. I drove it, but it doesn't shut off, so you have to get out and take the alligator clip off of it. But it's kind of like hot wired.
Let me ask you this: with the key on, engine off, without anything jumper, just the way it normally is, does fuse 33? I assume it does not have power. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. What about fuse 30, 31, and 32?
So I didn't test to see if there was power to those.
So I would recommend that you do that, and I'll tell you why. Because if those fuses do have power, then yes, this would indicate a bad fuse block. If those fuses do not have power, then something is preventing all of those fuses from getting power. It looks like you got a run start relay that I think powers up those fuses. So then at that point, you could look at the run start relay, and you could check the inputs to the run start relay, check the body control module for codes and communication, and the ECM for codes and communication. I'm sorry, did you do that as of yet or no?
No, I didn't. I didn't have any. I'm in Idaho, and I'm just relocating, and so my son-in-law had some tools. But one of the things I read is that if that module's not a 33 doesn't have any power, you can't pull codes. From what I can find online. I don't know how dangerous it would be if I just hot wired it, drove it 10 hours back to Washington State.
Right.
Because I'd be heading out 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And what I don't want, I'm going through some mountain passes of it to dying on the highway, in the snow somewhere where there's no cell phone service.
Right, I gotcha.
So I don't know how. There's nothing online I could find. There's a lot of chat rooms and stuff like that, but a lot of it's 2020s.
Right.
Had some issues.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well,
there's no corrosion, no water was in my fuse box at all.
Right.
So you're saying I need to see if I have power to use 30, 31, and 32?
Yeah, that'd be a good start. Absolutely. Yeah, I still think it should go to a shop, and really it needs to get diagnosed. Really, that's at the end of the day, that's really the answer. But if those fuses do have power, then that would suggest that you got a bad fuse block. If those fuses do not have power, then at that point, I think there's something else going on. The run start relay, the BCM, or maybe something else is going on, preventing those circuits from getting power. So that'll be your next step.
The first step would be check those fuses to see if they do, then I have a bad fuse block.
Yep.
I read is that 2019 that they have to, when they do that, it's not plug and play. They have to rewire the whole thing.
Rewire what?
Pull that block. Well, so when you say the fuse block, it's basically on the 2020. It looks like it's got a screw in there that bolts in, and is it something that I restore cars. I'm kind of a mechanically inclined guy. Is it something that needs to be done by a dealer?
If you bring it to a good shop, they should be able to, depending on what they find, they should be able to to diagnose and fix this issue, unless it's something that they don't have the equipment for. Then at that point, they'll tell you, hey, yeah, it needs to go to the dealership. But you could call around and see what kind of shops you have in the area, and it might just be something simple that it doesn't have to go to the dealership for. But it's up to you.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if it was a simple fix because, like I said, I read a couple on 2019 that they had to pull that out and rewire half of it, splice it, and do all that with $6,000. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, that is true. I believe on some Fords, it's actually it's part of the wiring harness, so it's a lot of work. But Ford calls this fuse box a battery junction box.
I don't know. It's frustrating because it's a very expensive truck and it's a clean pop, and it's not ready to sell if it's going to have these kind of problems.
Right.
All the time. But check those fuses. If they have power, then would it be safe for me to drive that and get it back to Washington? Because I got to do some traveling next week. I don't have 2 or 3 days to hang out back here in Idaho.
As a professional technician, I would not recommend driving the vehicle with anything jumpered. You might be fine, but the last thing I want to tell you is that you're going to be okay. I think you're going to be okay, but if I tell you that and then it burns to a crisp, then I'm liable. So I don't want to tell you that.
Right.
I think you're probably going to be fine, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Right. Well, one of the things that I will do is I would, that I've read and looked at, do at least not a hot wire to it, and then like 10 amp fuse with it, and that way that would be the weak point of the jumper instead of just having a straight wire into it.
Yep, that'd be a good call. Absolutely, I would agree.
Let me go test those out, and so if there's no fuse, if no power to those other ones, then I have a bigger problem.
It might not necessarily be a bigger problem, but the problem is further upstream, which means it could be that relay or even something with the BCM. Yeah, that is correct.
All right, and so if I could pull codes, if I could get to pull codes, it might tell me that also.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Check codes in the engine control module and in the body control module. Yep, or the power. I think they call it a powertrain control module. Yeah.
That's it. I appreciate it.
All right. You bet. You're welcome. Good luck, and let me know if anything comes up, okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. You're welcome.